All right. Can I have a volunteer? Sure. I want you to read this, right? I'm going to have you read it. But when I have you read it, I want you to just be mindful that there's something not right with what I just handed you. Just keep the extras, okay? Who wants to volunteer to read? Zoe.
Just should I start the top one?
Yep.
He had a thick coat of white feathers, he wore orange-colored boots, and his bill was like a gold trumpet when he opened it to call. There was once an old wild goose who had led the flock with older wild geese every fall for years and years on their way south. Honk, honk, honk. He flew at their head, and the rest followed, one line on one side and one line on the other. He thought himself most important. That was the signal for the others to rise from the meadows and the marshes. Honk, honk, honk.
This is a description of a wild goose, but look at the order of this first paragraph. He had a thick coat of white feathers. He wore orange-colored boots, and his bill was like a gold trumpet when he opened it to call. There was once an old wild goose who had led the flock of other wild geese every fall for years and years on their way south. Just look at that first paragraph. Is there something the matter with it? Zoe?
It's like backwards.
It's backwards, right?
Because you don't even know who he is. It's just some man or a goose you don't know yet.
Exactly. That's my point. When you write paragraphs, you need to write them in, but you see now, it just doesn't make sense. That's how me reading some of your stuff, not you in particular, but sometimes when we read, it makes sense to you, but it doesn't necessarily make sense to the person that needs to read it. And so there has to be a certain order in which you do your writing. Which brings me to that handout that I was talking about, the analytical paragraph format. So if you look at that one, and you look at all of the steps, there's 9 of them. It shows you the process in which you need to be writing your paragraphs. It shows you the exact order. So what we're going to be doing today is we're going to look at the passage that I gave you, which is also in your nice little stack, from the American Horse. You're going to dissect it or scrutinize it using that other handout that I gave you, remember, on interpretation and close passage analysis, picking out any words that stick out. And what you're going to be expected to do is to A, dissect that piece, and then B, come up with 3 sentences to analyze that passage. You're going to link up with a partner, so you all can just partner up, and you guys can be, the 3 of you can work together, okay? And I'm going to give you a few minutes to read the passage, dissect it, and then we're going to talk about the interpretation, okay? So,
Referring to somebody.
So basically,
like every bit.
Oh yeah, every last
Yeah,
bit of it.
every
I'm
bit of it.
highlighting the world. World into sharp things all around him. Yeah, so basically he's all around.
It says taste.
Yeah, and he's like so cute and he remembers like he came to realize what was happening. Yeah. So overwhelming. I don't know what word it is.
Yeah. What is that?
You know how like Barbara had like
Oh, yeah, we have to
The last sentence from blood.
That's how Mother I taught him, right?
blood.
Where? Oh, as his mother.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I see it.
She's a good one.
okay. I need to read it. All right, so because of time, I need you all to move back into your spots so that we can talk a little bit about the interpretation.
That's at 12, right?
Yeah. All right. Who wants to start? You can just read your sentences. Go ahead, Zoe.
Okay, we had, although Buddy may be extremely young, he still has a decent comprehension of what is happening to his family and himself. The act of kindness displayed by the social worker only made Buddy realize the severity of his situation. The fact that he may never see his mother again caused him to break down.
Good, very good. Danny.
The word blood is symbolic, not just of the physical pain that Buddy and his mother are experiencing, but the mental anguish that their separation is causing them.
Good. Tim?
This passage is showing how something as good as the chocolate was ruined by the thought of all the bad things that happened to his mom, and also how he is equating his bleeding lip to the sight of seeing his mom laying on the ground, and how finally he wants to do what is right and say thank you for his mom, but the only thing he can do is scream as a way of releasing all of his pain.
Good. Very good. Do you see how you all have very similar interpretations, but you take a whole different spin on those same words? Good. Evan or Laura, do you want to share?
I have the passage is a summary of Buddy's life as a whole. Although he's in a lot of emotional pain, as is his mother, he is still content with the life he has with his family, and he still doesn't want to leave. And as a result of all the battle of emotion, Buddy's anger is let out in an astonishing scream that helped relieve some of his pain.
Good. Good. What'd you guys come up with?
I said this passage shows the emotional Buddy as he sees his mom knocked out by the police on the ground. His initial reaction was to do as he's told, but he's suddenly stricken by the pain of his mother, or the pain his mother's in a frightening situation that he screams.
Good. Good. All right. So remember, there's 3 parts to analysis. You want to make sure that you keep that big picture in there. You want to also make sure that you give a brief synopsis of what the passage is about, and make sure that you're going to be doing that in the paragraph. But like I said, the steps are really straightforward. Follow them closely, and you